Well, I was gonna give a speech, and then I said, no, I don't think so. I think there's not enough time for that at this stage of the game. But I do, first of all, want to acknowledge my own colleagues from AARP. We have a table over here. Say hello, folks. I think you all know as well as anyone what the benefits of health care reform are going to be. Some people may overstate the promise of health care reform. But I would say that when you look at legislation that's up there, you must always look at it from the vantage point of what do we have today? That's the important question, not how does this bill compare to that bill? It's what do we have today versus what we may have tomorrow. I would say, it was roughly 61 years ago that Harry Truman first proposed health care reform. He was the first president to step out and take the risk of trying to change a system that today is literally, a sixth of our economy, and which is some $2.6 trillion a year spent at all levels of government and private payers for our healthcare system. So there are a lot of interests at the table watching every element of this legislation as it moves forward. That has been probably the principal stumbling block in the past, that there are many interests, many well-heeled interests that have tons of lobbyists here that are here to protect some component of the pie or the status quo. What I would say is that we are on the precipice of really a very significant debate, and I know we've had lots of debates up till now, but the big debate is yet to come, which in my judgment will be on the floor of the United States Senate, which, as many of you may have heard, is the world's most deliberative body for a whole host of reasons. They like to chat. And there are many, many unresolved issues that the American public is going to come to grips with as they debate this legislation in the Senate. Let me talk to you a little tiny bit about the timetable, because I think it is relevant. The Senate hopes to merge the HELP Committee bill and the Senate Finance Committee bill and bring it to the floor beginning on the 13th of October. Whether they will adhere to that or not, I don't know. No one knows. It may take a little bit longer, but somewhere around mid-October, the debate will begin in the Senate. The Senate debate will last for at least 2 weeks, possibly longer. There will be a lot of amendments, and it will be very critical for all of us to be watching it closely. I would say that there will be a pretty significant effort on the part of sort of more moderate and progressive Democrats to expand and make the bill more affordable for people. There will be conservatives that are trying to eliminate provisions and doing things to change the package. So it's going to be something that will require an extraordinary amount of vigilance. And so if you are prepared to start writing your letters, it's a good time to begin. On the House side, they are now waiting. Just to give you an idea, people are really, following the August recess, I think people are really sort of petrified about voting on health care. Many people are, not everyone. Many people feel very strongly that this is the right thing to do. But people who come from marginal congressional districts that were either Republican at one time or that are very conservative, are very nervous about voting. And what they want to do is they want the House to wait until they see what the Senate does. There are many in the House that don't want to cast a lot of difficult votes. And when the House does bring it up, given the nature of that governmental entity, they'll be able to finish it within about 2 days. So it isn't going to be that prolonged over there, but they want to try to conform their bill to the maximum extent possible with what the president has suggested, for one thing, which is this is tough. They have put a $900 billion price tag on the legislation. Many people felt that a really robust health care reform bill might cost more than that, but they are living with that. We are dealing with this legislation in a very difficult economic time. People are concerned about deficits and all sorts of things. So it isn't the ideal moment, but it is the moment, and politics is the art of timing, and we have to hope for the very best. And I will say AARP has not yet endorsed a bill. We are looking very closely. There are many, many, many important provisions in the bills, and I just want to mention a few of them. And think about it in relation to today. That's the important thing. First of all, there will be exchanges in every state. that, like when you want to go order tickets to travel on one of these internet sites that shows you all the different options, there will be a set of options, there will be a guaranteed set of benefits that, that insurers will bid for to provide that insurance. It will be pooled so that you will get, hopefully, the best possible prices you can. So the exchanges will be there. It'll be a very transparent process. There will be subsidies, very significant subsidies, to help people, particularly below 300% of poverty. And I think they will help to make it a much more affordable system for those people that really cannot afford it today. Insurance market rules will change very significantly. We will now have guaranteed issue. There will be no efforts by insurers any longer to essentially say to you, you're ineligible because you have a pre-existing condition. There will be strict out-of-pocket caps that are established so that your deductibles and your cost sharing are known going in. There will be no annual or lifetime caps, and insurers will not be able to rescind your policy in the midst of treatment. There are very significant provisions to help address the health disparities issue, things to help overcome cultural and language barriers, comparative effectiveness to ensure that the kinds of treatment acknowledges that one treatment does not fit all sizes, that there are different effects on different populations, and will be much more sensitive to those kinds of things. HIT and telemedicine will be very critical, particularly for rural communities, although it's a longer-term proposition in many cases. We're building a 21st century health workforce. There will be more primary care docs. There will be dollars to make more primary care docs, more advanced practice nursing available in communities, something that we already face significant problems on. With respect to Medicare, we're fighting for some very specific things here. We want to close the donut hole for those of you that have dealt with this either with your own parents or on your own. We want to make sure it's permanently closed. There are differences between the House and the Senate there. One of the things also is that all prevention treatments will be covered without any copays or cost sharing. So there's a lot of very important things. There are also provisions for low-income individuals in Medicare that will help strengthen it. There's care coordination, a whole range of things. So this is a really important opportunity. I think we can all expect that health care legislation will be enacted. The question is, what will be the size and the scale of it? That will be determined to a large extent by how much you're willing to weigh in and make noise about this and do everything you can to advocate for the most robust health care package we can get. Let me just turn it over to someone else. Sure.
While Cindy comes to the podium, one of the big things that we're concerned, everybody's concerned, is the matter of the affordabilities and the tax credits. And I know the language is changing, but what can we do to make sure that our families, many of us have Medicare and they have that important insurance, but some members of the family might have $40,000 and the tax credits that are supposed to come to these families are still not. It could be make it affordable or not.
That's true.
And what can we do to make sure as an organization and working with ARP to make sure that language will be there, to make sure that subsidies will be sufficient, to make sure that we can buy health insurance that is quality and affordable?
That is the $64 question.
You don't have the answer?
Well, we think we do have the answer. I think there will very definitely be an amendment during floor consideration in the Senate to strengthen the Senate package. I think one of the key questions, honestly, at this stage, given the price tag that's been established for the legislation, is whether the White House will be with us or not. Okay. They need to be pressured, among others, to recognize the need to make it as affordable as possible.
So those phone calls not only have to be to Congress, but also to the White House?
Absolutely.
Okay.